From Radio Cayman's newsroom, I'm Shanda Gallego with your latest news. 279 COVID-19 tests have been carried out Monday, and the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. John Lee, reports one positive test result in a traveller. Local COVID-19 vaccination clinics were closed on Monday. The health minister says the Cayman Islands government has taken note of the United States Food and Drug Administration's full approval of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine Monday morning. In a written statement, Health Minister the Honourable Sabrina Turner says this approval demonstrates what the government has stated all along, which is that vaccines developed to fight the COVID-19 disease meets the highest standards of the international health sector. For Cayman Islands residents yet to be vaccinated, Ms. Turner says she hopes that the FDA approval will allay any remaining fears concerning the safety of the vaccine. Government continues to urge everyone to, quote, do their due diligence and then to take the vaccine. And as the goal of achieving an 80% vaccination rate in Cayman continues, Honourable Minister Juliana O'Connor-Connolly, during Monday's Education Professionals Welcome event, shared her COVID-19 vaccination story with new and returning teachers.
One afternoon after everyone left, Premier took the time in the cabinet room, we had just finished a meeting, and said he wanted to speak to me. He didn't come and say, which he could have, well, Juliana, all of my colleagues and yours have it, so it's going to be a political national embarrassment that you haven't taken it. He knows the German in me probably wouldn't have received that very well. But he came with eyes of compassion and gestures of care. And he explained his situation, his family's situation, and why I wasn't taking it. And I explained mostly medical reasons and some underlying problems that I have. And he said these words, and I'll try to quote it correctly. I wouldn't want to see anything happen to you. That was the catalyst that started to change my mental framework. And then he added, if you agree to take it, I will go with you and hold your hand as necessary. Now he knows that I wasn't afraid because very few things make me afraid because Timothy 1:7 says fear is from the devil, but peace, love, and a sound mind comes from the Lord. But I know that I am the breadwinner for my two children and for most of my family. And I was afraid because of some of the underlying medical reasons that if I went and something happened at the hospital, I wanted somebody there that could call the shots. And who better, perhaps the governor, than the premier. And so the arrangements were made, and the Premier kept his word. We went fairly incognito, and he went into that office and sat there with me, got it, waited the 15-20 minutes, and left. And on Friday, I went and got my second one, Premier. He didn't have to come that time because he was busy cleaning up his community because community builds country. And I wanted to share that personal bit of information because as teachers, I'm not going to say to you, you have to get it unless you can't come to work because I won't have no teachers, and that's not an option. But I'm going to say to you, I care about each and every one of you.
Minister O'Connor-Connolly encouraged new and returning teachers to make the best decision to protect themselves and their families. To find out more on where and what times you can get vaccinated, check out hsa.gov.ky as well as gov.ky. New figures released by the Economics and Statistics Office show the first drop in Cayman's estimated population since 2013. Radio Cayman's Cressi Fuller has the breakdown.
According to the 2020 Compendium of Statistics, the country saw a 5.9% drop in the population in 2020, falling from just under 70,000 in 2019 to 65,786 last year. According to the figures, this can mostly be attributed to a fall in non-Caymanian residents by more than 4,500, presumably as work permit holders left Cayman with the advent of COVID-19. Of the 65,000 logged in 2020, 57.5% were registered as Caymanian. 51% of the population was living in Georgetown in 2020, followed by Boddentown with 22% and West Bay with almost 19% of the population. The population was pretty much 50-50 with just slightly more women than men. Most of the population falls between the ages of 35 and 44. In 2020, the ESO report shows that there were 817 children born in the Cayman Islands. There were 215 deaths logged last year, and over 2020, there were 634 marriages. Divorce rates were not provided for 2020. Reporting for Radio Cayman News, I'm Cressi Fuller.
With the 2021 Atlantic hurricane season still months from being over, the teams of persons from the public and private sectors say we need to prepare and be vigilant. A number of government officials and senior civil servants oversee the teams responsible for ensuring the pre- and post-storm plans work smoothly. Director for Hazard Management Cayman Islands, Daniel Coleman.
We knew it was a tropical storm, obviously, but again, every tropical storm is slightly different. We're really happy that we did, obviously, because obviously the storm itself was a bit stronger than I think most people expected. And there was a lot more damage than was expected and that we've seen from previous storms. So we had the full activation of the National Emergency Operations Centre for about 30 hours. And again, that was all the 17 emergency support teams in there working very hard and doing their own aspect of the response.
Ms. Coleman says the focus now is to ensure debris clearance is working well, damage assessments are being completed, as well as ensuring public safety.
Public safety is so important right now. I think we forget how much debris is still in the road, down power lines, a lot of different bits, a lot of wood, debris and so forth. So it's really important to make sure the public are safe. And we're really encouraging people to be very, very careful when they're driving. A lot of potholes as well coming up right now. And again, the season ahead, we've only really just gone into the busiest part of the season. So please make sure your response kits are refurbished if you haven't got them already.
Should there be another storm, Ms. Coleman says it's better to be safe than sorry.
We want to make sure everyone in Cayman is fully prepared for it. You have your fuel for your generators. People need to be ready, and we want to make sure that everyone is ready for the season ahead. We know it's going to be a busy one. We're strongly encouraging people to go to our website, caymanprepared.ky, and get those supply lists and again, tailor them to your own needs, but make a family plan and make sure you're ready for the season.
You're encouraged to check other credible sources such as Radio Cayman, Government Information Services, CIGTV, gov.ky, and weather.gov.ky for information on this hurricane season and how best you can prepare. On Friday, Cayman Islands regiment officers underwent hurricane relief training. Residents were able to meet with regiment members and learn more about what the unit offers Cayman. Deputy Chief Officer of Home Affairs, Michael Ebanks.
This training exercise is a valuable component of what the regiment means to Cayman and the value that it brings to the communities. Training on food distribution, which of course is a critical element of our post-disaster recovery plans. So to have the regiment training and demonstrating how that training is put into action with the community is really what we're after.
Speaking to CIGTV, Minister the Honourable Bernie Bush said the training included 75 personnel spread across 3 districts.
People can see that the regiment, their capabilities, what they're able to do, the equipment that they have in place. Been there a very short time, but in the short time they've been there, they're doing a good job. And what I've especially been impressed with was to see the team work and the discipline and the camaraderie that's between them.
To learn more about the regiment, head to gov.ky. And in the wake of Tropical Storm Grace, Cayman's social services are thanked at a special event hosted by Home Affairs Ministry. The event held at Lions Centre over the weekend recognized staff of the Department of Community Rehabilitation, Department of Public Safety Communications, Fire Service, Prison Service, the cadets and the regiment for all that they do for the community. His Excellency the Governor, Martin Roper.
It's been a tough week for everyone in the community. Some agencies were very visible as part of our emergency response, but others were less visible. The prison and prisoners, as Minister Bush said in his remarks, also deserve recognition for how they coped with the conditions in a building which we all know is suffering great challenges. So very well done to Director Steve Barrett and all his staff for outstanding work to keep everybody safe.
That's His Excellency Governor Martin Roper. That is your latest local news from Radio Cayman's newsroom. I'm Shanda Gallego.